Hey guys, welcome to another video here on the AviationPro channel. Today I want to talk about an important topic on VATSIM, and that's about transmitting on radio frequencies. Now, of course, VATSIM is different from the real world in the fact that you transmit your voice over the frequency, so to speak, not via an actual radio frequency, but via the internet. So there's some delay in transmissions because in the real world, when you push the talk button on the radio transceiver, basically you transmit instantly, and you can also hear that when you listen to live ATC. I mean, you can hear the air traffic controllers and the pilots talk very quickly after one another, and that's because they can simply push the talk button immediately and pretty much talk instantly. Now with VATSIM, that's a bit different. There's a lot of delay because, of course, your voice has to travel over the internet from one computer to the other. To put it into simple terms, if you're using TeamSpeak, for example, you might experience the same thing. And the same with VATSIM. I mean, it uses voice over IP, so it's just a voice network, which has some small delay, but these small delays add up and can provide some difficulties, especially when there are a lot of people from different regions flying at the same airports, and then the one person might hear the other person a couple seconds later, while the other person actually hears that person on time. So you can kind of imagine that when you're flying, and you've probably seen that in many of my VATSIM videos, that people tend to interrupt each other at the wrong moments. So this is just a video to show you some tips and tricks on how to, prevent that from happening for yourself. I mean, that happens to me sometimes as well. I mean, you can try everything, but it still happens sometimes. But you can at least try to limit it as much as possible, and that's basically by following a few simple rules on transmitting over the radio. So first of all, for example, we are here at the ground at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. Let's say I want to push back in a few moments, and then we're going to ask taxi. So what you're going to do is get a real life sample of the ground frequency of Amsterdam, and then we're going to listen carefully what we have to do. Now, always before you transmit, of course you go on the frequency, just like on the VATSIM network. You tune in the radio frequency in your radio stack. So for example, here on the 747 we have 121.8. I'm not actually in the VATSIM network right now, but this is just an example. So we're going to set the active frequency to 121.8 in there. So now we're basically on a ground frequency, and let's push back the aircraft, and then we can take a look at a real life example at ground when we have to exactly transmit. Okay, so what we've done now, we've pushed back this 747 from the gate. As you can see, I'm not on the VATSIM network or using any AI traffic. This is just to get an example. So what I'm going to do now is provide an footage of real life ground frequency at Amsterdam. And the moment that you transmit is that you have to have a completed instruction before that. So if a pilot or an air traffic controller is talking about their own instruction that they were discussing just now, you have to wait for that instruction to be completed before you can transmit. So for example, if you tune in and you hear the air traffic controller say Continental 125, turn right heading 130, for example. Alright, at that moment you should not come in and say, hey KLM 123, with you flight level 150. That's not how it works. So you have to wait for the autopilot to finish his transmission before you can actually transmit on the frequency. So let's go over to Schiphol ground, and we're going to wait for a so-called dead moment, as I like to call it, on the frequency at which you can actually transmit. So let's take a listen.
KLM 1317, left on Bravo, taxi Charlie Whiskey 536 left.
Charlie Whiskey 536 left on Bravo, KLM 1317.
So as you can hear right now, the instruction is completed. The air traffic controller has given an instruction, and the pilot has read back that instruction, and now you are allowed to transmit. Okay, of course, when it's busy on the frequency, it's going to be pretty hard, because how long should you wait? Well, you can basically transmit instantly as soon as the frequency is dead. Like the frequency is open for you to transmit. But now, the instructions have been given, the pilot has replied, so now you can actually reply. And that's the moment when you push the talk button, which I have right here. So we can ask for taxi. Can I want to heavy requesting taxi? And then we'll get a reply. So never transmit when an instruction is being given or still has to be replied to by the other pilot. That's just not how it works. Also, as I said many times before, make sure you have a good headset. That helps a lot, because of course the clarity over the VATSIM network is not always as clear as real-world radios. So this is on some kind of Logitech USB headset. They're pretty cheap, but as you can hear, the quality of the audio is pretty fine. I mean, it doesn't need to be a huge headset or anything. I mean, this is just a very simple one with good quality audio and a relatively good microphone, good enough for flying and for Skyping, for example. So that's another important thing. So always, before you transmit, what you do is go over to the radio frequency, in this case 121.8, listen to the frequency for a while, wait for instructions that are being given and for the reply by other pilots. When that is done, when the frequency is open, you can ask for whatever you want to ask, taxi or an instruction. So always make sure the frequency is open for you to transmit. That's the main important thing about this video, because as you can probably hear, many of my VATSIM videos, people start talking to each other. Air traffic controllers get annoyed because everybody is talking at the same time, and that just doesn't work. That's why it's important to listen to the frequency for a while. Doesn't mean when you go to a frequency that you immediately have to transmit, because you need to hurry up, because the air traffic controller is expecting you. Of course he's expecting you, but he's not expecting you to talk while he's still giving a transmission, or while he still expects a reply from the other pilot. That's just not very efficient, and it's very annoying for both the air traffic controller and for the other pilot. So make sure you always listen to the frequency, at least for a couple of seconds, so you know what's going on. Careful ear is needed. I mean, when you go on a frequency, you should just not passively listen. You should actively listen on the frequency and hear what's going on, because then you know, okay, now the instruction is finished, now can I go? So that's the basic lesson from this video. So thanks for watching this video here on the AviationPro channel. I hope it helped out, and I hope it will improve the quality on the VATSIM network of the over the frequencies a bit better. If you like this video, please comment, share, and rate and subscribe. That's always much appreciated. And please check out my Patreon page on patreon.com/AviationPro. If you want to support the AviationPro channel and get some great rewards in return for your support, it's definitely worth it to become a patron, and it's very much appreciated, and it will help me to continue making these videos. So please check that out, and for now I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.